So the No Kings protest, it came and went. Turns out the revolution looked a lot like a field trip for retirees. And the government still shut down. Let's get into it. So Liz Peek called it pure rage, no roadmap. And if you watched the clips, you saw it. Mostly angry boomers waving signs and screaming about saving democracy. You'd think it was a political Woodstock, same energy, just a lot less rhythm.
When I was watching the videos, and I wasn't there, but you can correct me, it seemed like mostly older people. There were some young people, obviously. You interviewed a few of them, but it seemed like a lot of old geezer types who just were wishing they had been alive during Woodstock and missed the Vietnam era, but now this is, their moment in the sun.
Yeah, a lot of these people, there are a lot of old individuals out there, and you see them in the subway going to the protest. They're all amped up to go to these protests, and because they literally think Trump's a king, and they think they're about to save the country. And so you have all these old people just ramped up.
Well, it's the most exercise a lot of them gotten for a while.
Megyn Kelly highlighted some of the worst moments, and yeah, some were straight up vile.
Birthday present, what do you hope happens? You wake up tomorrow morning.
I hope that I see the obituary that we're all waiting for tomorrow. That's what I hope for.
You wishing that President Trump is dead?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Anthony, in a real dictatorship, of course, you couldn't say that on camera, correct? So they don't really think Trump's a dictator. She's not worried about saying that on camera.
Right, yeah, that's why it's so important that independent journalists like Nick and myself are out there getting these sound bites, because when we ask the protesters, why are you really here? What do you really think? They say these things, but it's almost hard to believe they're saying it because we know deep down they don't really believe it. So it's almost like, what are you listening to that you are having to say these things? I mean, and one of the scarier parts is I talked to people. I was live on TikTok interviewing some folks, and I met a lot of educators telling me, yeah, I teach high school, I teach middle school, I teach kindergarten. And I'm like, what? And your organization is okay with this? Your union? Like, oh yeah, they promoted it.
You can't scream violence and profanity in public and claim the moral high ground.
There's a lot of celebrating violence. Let's go blood clot, talking about Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk had it coming, change my mind. This machine kills fascists. That is there. And then there's a bunch of other signs out there. The protesters fantasized a lot about violence, and some of them out and out called for people to be killed.
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out.
Who are you gonna kill?
Nazis.
Who do you define as a Nazi?
What do you mean? It's pretty.
In this context, who's a Nazi?
Stephen Miller's a Nazi.
So you're gonna kill Stephen Miller?
If I had the chance, yeah, I would.
Okay, so
Tells you about the movement and what people are now comfortable talking about. And then there is this. An elementary school teacher who mocked Charlie Kirk's death by pointing a finger, you can see, to her neck like she was making a gun. Remember, an elementary school teacher. This woman teaches the next generation of Americans. And she went on and on. There's video of her talking about this and making fun of Charlie Kirk's assassination. We'd be wrong to suggest that this woman represents the entire movement. She does not. But she's allowed there. There weren't people telling her to leave. Same with all those other folks. The movement sort of allows this, accepts this call for violence.
But here's where it gets rich. They're chanting "No Kings" about Trump. Meanwhile, they're the same people who cheered for lockdowns, censorship, and government control under Biden. The left doesn't hate kings. They just hate when they're the ones not wearing the crown. And Trump, of course he saw it. He posted a trolling video that had everyone talking, and you'll see why. So this video is originally played with the Top Gun song in the background, but because of copyright laws, I can't show it to you. So we have it on mute. Now there's been some controversy about what is being dumped on these people. Is it poop? Is it chocolate? Who knows? And that's the thing. They call him a dictator. He's out here making jokes while they're losing their mind. And when asked about it, this was his response.
I'm not a king. I work my off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
And while the protests burned out, the real chaos is still in Washington. We are on day 21 of the shutdown, and the Democrats refuse to fund the government unless they get more Obamacare subsidies locked in. Republicans say fund the government first and argue later. Common sense, right? Apparently, that's controversial now. 11 times. 11. At this point, it's not about policy, it's about control. And here's the kicker. The same people screaming no kings are defending politicians who act like monarchs every time they don't get their way.
Democrat senators are, quote, terrified of getting the guillotine if they vote to end the shutdown.
Their definition of democracy is they rule, you comply.
Unfortunately, in a craven and pointless act of partisan spite, Chuck Schumer, who I've known for a long time, and the radical left Democrats are holding the entire federal government hostage to appease the extremists in their party. And they are extreme. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Trump isn't a king. He's just not afraid to act like a leader. The people who call out tyranny are the same ones who gave unelected bureaucrats power over every part of their lives. So maybe no kings wasn't a warning, it was a confession. They don't want fewer kings. They just want their crown back. And that's it for today. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. It really does help grow the channel. And remember to stay strong and, as always, keep fighting the good fight. We'll see you next time.